Well, good morning, everyone. How is it today? Welcome to Friday. Welcome to Friday's live stream trading here today. It's going to be a good one. We're going to be disciplined. We're going to be patient. We're going to wait for those setups. We're not going to trade in this consolidation. We're going to look for some things, and it's going to be a good day. So why don't we start our day off with some prayer? Get started on the day. Say hello, and take a look at the charts. Why don't we? We have a theme today. We have a theme being a Friday. We'll talk about that theme. We'll get your thoughts on what that theme means to you and how you implement it in your trading. We'll talk about that today. But first, let's open in prayer. Father, we honor you today. Lord, I thank you that you care more about our personal development, becoming more like you, than you care about the destination we have. Father, you care about us becoming like Christ, conforming to your image. And I pray today we would be examples of conforming to your image today. Lord, that we would be patient, that we would be content, that we would not be envious, we would not be full of greed, we would not have selfish ambition. But Father, that we would display the fruits of the Spirit today. Lord, we honor you. May your name be magnified in this live stream, Father. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, hello, everyone. Suku, is that how you say it? Sukui. Jeff, John, good morning. Randy. Mary, good morning. Georgette, good morning. How are you? Arrow Factor, good morning. Travel Guide Pro, good morning. Have a disciplined trading day. We shall have a disciplined trading day. Let's take a look at the charts here. We have a 4-hour high that's sitting right here. That's of interest. We have a hourly fair value gap sitting right here and a potential 4-hour fair value gap that's going to be created here in about 39 minutes. Jumping up to the daily, you can see yesterday we had another sell-off, and then in the Asia session we wick lower, and then we are sitting at the midpoint of yesterday's range. Now, I don't see it likely us running this previous day high. I do see it potentially likely to hit the daily fair value gap. We are at that point where we could turn here and get some form of retracement for the end of the week. If we go to a daily time frame, you can see we've already gotten somewhat of a retracement. We'll see, or excuse me, the weekly time frame, we'll see where it wants to end up at. So we have this 4-hour time frame. Price has dropped. We've passed the midpoint of the range. And we have a new midpoint sitting right here. Drop down to the hourly. From an hourly perspective, we've swept this low here. At 3 a.m., we swept that low. The result is a bullish move higher. We are now in some form of consolidation. We have swept these lows right here and have not swept any of these highs. So I've marked out that sweep of liquidity and looking to see if we want to get a continuation up to this 4-hour fair value gap. If we don't, we might get that drop into this hourly BISI right here. And that hourly drop would potentially be the retracement we need for a continuation to the upside. It's made a long hike and a long journey there. We do have our London low. We'll mark out here. And we will mark out our midnight open as well. Midnight has not been tagged. That's interesting. Maybe we leave that for later. When I see midnight open not tagged by London session, it becomes a point of interest for me. Dropping down to the 15-minute time frame, let's go ahead and mark our new day opening gap. It'd be right here. So we got a discount opening range gap. This 15-minute BISI has been supporting price quite a bit. All the bodies above the 50% level. A drop right into this and then a move higher looks attractive. Good morning, Brian. Valiant. Welcome. 5 minute till the market opens. Let's drop down to the 5 minute. Pretty much consolidating in here. Down to the 1 minute. We have our last 1 minute fair value gap sitting in here. And I will say today is my first day back with a cup of coffee. I wasn't able to do my cup of coffee because my machine is there's a clog in it because it hasn't been used for 2 months. So I'm bringing back coffee. My goal is to do it once a week. So we might have a caffeine day, a day where we drink coffee together. Because I'm not going to do it every day. I can't do it every day. I think it's been affecting me. So I need a catchy phrase like Mega Mondays, you know that rhyme, Mega Mondays. Something with caffeine or coffee. There's nothing wrong with a little coffee, nothing. Coffee's great. But I've just noticed that it's affect I think the caffeine gives me headaches if I have too much caffeine. Tweaking Thursdays. That's a good one. Frenzy Friday. Or Frenzed? Is that Frenzed Friday? Mega Money Monday. No, not Mega Money Monday. It needs to be something related to coffee. Something related to the coffee connoisseurs in the room. Yerba mate. Yeah, I don't get the jitters. I don't ever get jitters. Actually, it really helps me focus. It calms me down. But the caffeine affects, I think it gives me headaches. I think it gives me headaches. All right, so we have a sweep of the 8 a.m. low right here at the 9 o'clock candle. Got 2 minutes left till market opens. I am. I'm trying to decide if how this next candle looks. We have a sweep right there, and if we get an immediate inversion on this candle, all right. We're going to take this. We're going to take the 930 model. How many of you took the 930 model that know about it? How many of you took it? Yeah, I did 4 micros on that. Played out nicely. 930 model is something for those inside the academy. It is the only model that I do not share publicly. It's for those that said, yeah, Tyler, I want to be a part of this community. I want to grow in my faith in the Lord and as a purpose-driven trader. Okay, so at this point, I want it to dip down into this hourly. Okay, I'm not interested in longs until we hit this hourly fair value gap. Okay, so from that hourly fair value gap, we have sitting right here. Okay, I'm not interested in longs. In fact, I mean, we could just consider going short right now. We have a 4 hour. So we got 2 targets. We got an hourly and we got a 4 hour. Those are my points of interest. We got a London low way down here. So if we run through this hourly, we can look at London low and midnight open. Those are my points of interest, and that's what I'm looking to try to take a trade with. All right, so there's the hourly. Let's mark our 930 opening price here. All right, boom, bada bing, bada boom. There's our 930 opening price. The same gap is a higher 2-hour and has already been entered. Yes, I am evangelical. Let's just say I love the Lord and I read his Bible and I believe it's true. All right, look at that. Look at that, folks. All right, so we got a 7 a.m. high and an hourly high. This is something you just can't ignore, guys. So we hit the hourly and now we're pumping up to the 4-hour. All right, I did take that long and sold right before we hit that 4-hour just because of the volatility. I am not going to put that on the screen because that was just crazy. Sorry. Just ain't going to happen. I was going short, but did you see that candle? I mean, did you see the candle? Do you not see that? I was going short. I said, look at the hourly fair value gap. I said I'm not interested in longs until what? Until we hit the hourly fair value gap. Then I said I would be interested in the longs. And what do we get? We get a giant candle towards this 4-hour fair value gap. You can't ignore a candle like this. Now, it doesn't mean you take this candle. I did, but it doesn't mean you do that. It means, hey, let's look at longs. That's what it means. It means look at longs. So we swept the hourly low, the 8 a.m. swing low, and we've swept the 7 a.m. hourly candle on the upside. So you can see what that candle looks like. We've swept both sides right here. All the consolidation dipped into here. Based on this wick right here, if we close in the next 20 minutes with a green candle, we're looking at higher prices. Okay? We're looking at higher prices. I don't know how high it wants to go. I don't think we're going to get up here. The upper half of the daily fair value gap, I don't think is something we'd look at. But the low end of this daily fair value gap, which is the green box, I think is a real possibility. Not in the AM session necessarily. I'm just saying that is potentially the target if we close here. And this is very difficult. This is a very large first presented fair value gap. This is our first presented fair value gap here. I am not in anything right now. I would like to be in this, but I wasn't willing to hold based on this candle and the following candle and then the consolidation. These wicks were 50 points. So, and that brings us to the topic for today. The theme of today's conversation. The theme of today's conversation is, we're going to call it CP, capital preservation. Capital preservation. That is our focus. That is our point of conversation today, is capital preservation. How do we preserve our capital while at the same time looking for opportunities? How do we preserve our capital? Capital preservation. This is going to be our focus point. So if you have any thoughts on, I have to do something on my other screen. If you have any thoughts on how you preserve your capital, what you've heard, what you struggle with, anything that could benefit the community here about capital preservations, drop them in the comments. I'm going to read them. We're going to talk about them. We're going to bring insight about them. Any questions you have about capital preservation, we're going to bring our focus in on this very point. Capital preservation. Capital preservation. Do we have news today? I haven't even looked. I'm sorry. I am behind. I'll look at your guys' comments here in a second. I am just finishing up this. All right, let's see what happens. Do we enter this again? How do we respond to this area here? Do we just run back up towards this high and we continue to this 5 minute and daily? or are we going to wait on that? Michigan consumer sentiment is coming up. Okay. It's good to know. I try to avoid over trading and try to recognize when I'm doing it. I recently stopped trading on my XFA on Top Step because I lost 600 in 2 days. So opened a new combine to trade on that for now. So Tina, my question is, I'm going to challenge you to change it from try to avoid to something more solidified. So if you had to solidify that even more, what would that look like? Okay. Any thoughts on JP Morgan being caught manipulating silver again? Is that what they did? Is that what they're blaming? I think it's part of the game. I think it's part of the game. It doesn't surprise me. As the great ICT says, you ain't a billionaire unless you're part of the club. Meaning you got to have the inside knowledge for some of this stuff, and these people do. So just be content with enough. That's the lesson. Be content with enough. All right, so we have a new. I think I'm gonna take this long right here. All right, so I just entered this on this inversion and closed above this fair value gap or this order block. We're looking at right now the 5-minute fair value gap to be a potential target. We got a new 15-minute fair value gap here. We could get a retracement. We'll see if we can just expand towards this London low, which would be a potential order. Actually, I don't know why I have that there. It's not as significant for me. The 5-minute is more interesting. I would love the daily fair value gap to be my target 25,061, but that's way up here. That's way up there, and we just need to show that we have support here. Let's just survive getting through the drawdown here. Not the drawdown, but the retracement. Capital preservation. All right, so I'm going to read through all of these here in a bit, but if we're looking at capital preservation, how do you do that in an active environment where you are actively in a trade? What does that mean, capital preservation, for you if you're inside of a trade? This is really where I want it to go. It's way up there. That would be so beautiful. That'd be a 140 point trade. We just need to expand from here. I just need to see the willingness to go higher. and less overlapping candles. I want a fair value. I need a fair value gap to be formed to give me that confidence. If we don't, then we might cut profits here or cut the trade off to protect capital preservation. There's so many ways you can have capital preservation. What am I doing here? Capital preservation in my contract size. I'm only taking one contract today. Capital preservation. A solidified stop loss. Capital preservation. If we close below this first inversion right here, or this fair value gap, I'm closing the trade. Non-negotiable. Capital preservation. Taking profits along the way. If you have multiple contracts. Capital preservation. We need to be capital preservation minded first, profits second. Protect your capital first and foremost, capital second. We have to be capital preservation minded first and foremost. It cannot be second place. It cannot be second place like that. I don't like that candle. Let's just, hopefully that was just a little wonky wonk. Not that. Don't let that freak us out. It comes right back up. Like I said, stops right there. I don't want it to go below that. I might. Come on. Show me a willingness to go higher here. Give me that push. Tell me we're on side. Tell me we're on side. Tell me we're on the right side of the trade. Come on. An unwillingness to go higher means it might not be the right time. What does that mean? You can either cut the trade off and wait, or you just wait out the trade and keep your stop loss set. I need it to pump high. I need it to go higher right here. I need it to run these highs. We need to see that. An unwillingness to do that and a move lower is not what I want to see. There we go. All right, now that we got this, I want to see the body of this candle over the next 40 seconds close above the highs that we just ran. That's what I need to see next. Okay? Capital preservation means active trade management. Stop is now going to be moved at break even. I do not want it to now take a loss as a result of this. If I had more than one contract, I'd be selling. We are tapping into the 5-minute fair value gap right here. I may consider closing this. I'm going to allow an opportunity of this candle leaving us a fair value gap. If we can't leave a fair value gap, I'm going to close it. I need to see a fair value gap left here. That's really what I want to see. So I want to see a fair value gap created right there. I'm intentionally not closing this position, hoping that we leave a fair value gap. If that fair value gap disappears, then I'm just going to close the position. I want this to be treated like a breakaway fair value gap. I do not want it to come back into this level. I want it to move higher first. We need to now allow for price to come back down into this fair value gap. Unfortunately, I would prefer it not to be tagged, but we need to allow for that to take place. Part of your trade management. And if you're happy and content with the profits, take it. Just close the position. I'm half tempted to do that. It's already a 50-point trade. If we close below this, I'll get out of the position. Below this fair value gap. That's the last thing that I want to see happen right now. And it looks like that's going to happen. All right, I'm closing that position. We just inversed that. Yes, it could go back up, but you have to have a point where you preserve your profits. So yes, I lost $70 by closing it at that position, but at least I made some. And if we go lower, it would have stopped me. If it goes lower, I'd be at break even. And yes, I would have been at break even. So that closing it because it violated my PD array is my reason to get out of the trade. So I got out of the trade. Capital preservation, not thinking that and hoping that, oh, it's going to go higher. We'll wait for another opportunity. All right, let me read some of these comments here. Honestly, I think my biggest problem is that when I am in the green, I chase my stop loss so closely because I'm afraid to lose profit or go red on the trade. So my wins are small. Cantio, the best way to deal with that is to, before the trade even starts, is to tell yourself why you're taking the trade. Are you taking the trade for profit or are you taking the trade for education? Take the trade for education. That's the simple answer to that. I'm a hyper scalper. Yesterday I took 15 trades with 70% wins. If my win trade rate drops below 40%, I walk away. I am consistently viewing my metrics and know if I am below 40%, it is not my day. Way to go. I like that. Outside of that, what about size? Talk about size, Ellen. Lazy Titan. Yeah, they're paying a multi-$100 million fine because of that, apparently. Well, they just got, in my video that I'm posting here today or tomorrow, they got caught doing that about 5 years ago. They paid $920 million in fines. $920 million in fines for spoofing silver specifically. I am bullish today, but will likely be a punishing high resistance liquidity run back up after a beautiful LRL downwards, thinking we reach for 25 near previous day high. I think we hit the daily high as well, Ryan. Short it as well, made 3K. I have a separate laptop that I only use for trading that I physically close once I hit my goal for the day. It helps me overcome FOMO and physically removes me from the market, helps with discipline. What about when you're sitting down in front of it? Okay, is that Haibi? I can't pronounce your name, I'm sorry. There's a lot of words smashed together and I don't know which one's your first name. Hawib. What about when you're actively in a trade, Hawib? Watch trading places. I will give your perspective on. What's up, trades by Ralph? I took 4 on the open, yes. 4 micros on the open. Trailing stops, capital preservation, the word of the day. Hearing a theme today. Yes, we are talking about the theme. Capital preservation. Big question is direction. Does the 10 a.m. news... I would say the 10 a.m. news is going to push us up towards this level here. I'm not interested until we dip down into the first presented fair value gap and then start displacing higher. We already hit the hourly fair value gap. If we jump up to the 4 hour, you're going to see what it looks like right now. Why does that look that way? What is going on? Why does it show all that missing? What's going on? What is this? What is all that? I don't understand. You guys, what the heck is that? It's like they deleted it. The matrix is glitching. All right, here's 10 a.m. There's a button. So if I make a box right here and I go to the settings, you go to style, there's a middle line button, on off. Removing hiding indicators. Still a giant. I don't know. Is that that can't be. Yeah, because that's AM, PM. We're missing a whole day in there. That's strange. It's not affecting us right now. Should we watch it without any stuff on it? So here's our 4 hour. 4 hour left of fair value gap down here. So I knew that was going to happen most likely. So here's our 4 hour fair value gap. Let's go ahead and mark that. So we dipped into the hourly. Now we're going to change this to a 4 hour because we've already hit that. So this 4 hour could be tagged and then moved higher. That would be a sweep of the 6 a.m. 4 hour candle and then a move higher. That's a real possibility. So if I'm trading sweeps of liquidity, I'm trading at this point. I can't do anything. I have a sweep that needs to happen here or a sweep that needs to happen here. I'm right in between the I'm in the last hour of price action right here. And that's where price can get really choppy and back and forth. So what I'm looking for is price to run one of these levels before I participate, to be honest with you. Because here's why I say that. You might be looking at the hourly or the minute and saying, wow, Tyler, well, I think we're going to run these lows down to here. And that may very well be the case. But I've seen price stop right here and just explode higher. Why is that? Because when we look at liquidity, price runs for imbalances or liquidity. Right now, it's in an imbalance. It could turn on that imbalance. And it also could run for liquidity on the top or bottom. So I don't know which one it wants to do yet. So I'm hesitant on wanting to do something right now, even though it might just collapse and hit this level right here. That's a real possibility. It looks good. I guess we did sweep the hourly. Did we sweep the hour? No, we haven't. This is 10 a.m. And 10 a.m. opened right here. Yeah, so we have all of this before we sweep liquidity, or we need to run down to this level here. So we're inside of this range right here. It makes price, even though it looks clean right here, it makes it unpredictable. Yeah, it could be a small market maker sell model, but I've seen, especially if we're trending higher, this fail. I've seen this fail so many times in this scenario. That's technically a breaker. Yeah, and it could work to the downside. Absolutely. If I was a betting man, if it does reverse, it would go to that level right there. If it does reverse, it won't stop at this breaker. It's going to reach for this inversion and then run lower. That's if I was taking the trade. I mean, it looks really good. You can't diddle in the middle. Because I did it on a different account. I did that on my personal account. I did not do that on my funded accounts. BC. And you don't know the model that I take. That model is it's a 60 to 7% win rate. So the amount is not necessarily, you can't say the amount and determine that to be capital preservation or not. You size up when you're confident on the position and the model presents itself, and the model was very nice the way it looked. Top secret. This is just a question, but isn't that setup a higher probability short setup? The answer is yes. It just doesn't hit what I want to see happen. Yes, it has a sweep of liquidity, but it's not an hourly sweep of liquidity. And technically, it did hit the breaker. It hit the breaker right there. Okay, so it did and is playing out. I just told you what I would want to see if it was me. I have ES on the screen right here. We tag 930. There's our tag of 930 and price moving back this direction. This is what I mean. When we're inside of a range, it can turn at any point. Yes, it might be logical points, but if you try to go for the liquidity, it could do all kinds of stuff and not give you what you want. So either if you're trading inside of a range, you take profits quickly and don't rely on liquidity being ran, and you run for key points in price and you take profits quickly, or you just wait for the sweeps of liquidity. Both are okay to take or to do. It just depends on your way of trading. So this is where, like, I would say I don't think this breaker is going to hold. We have a higher time frame draw on liquidity that I like. We have the wick lower giving us, we could see an expansion here. Yeah, you could potentially take a trade from here to move higher. This is bothering me. This is bothering me not being able to see any of that. I can't do any analysis on the hourly. I can't look left at all. Way to go, Ryan. Give me a second. I'm going to try to reset this. Come on. What's going on? Well, it's still there. I don't know why. I just closed out and reopened it. That's very hard to do any analysis. I don't know why that happened. All right, so breaker held and is rolling over, has an inversion to the downside. Looks really good. I mean, I like it, but I'm sitting and waiting. I just did, Alan. I tried. Cold light. We've only taken 1, 2. I've taken only 2 trades. You got to be careful. Here's another way. Capital preservation is restricting the amount of trades you take in a day. Capital preservation determines how many trades you want to take. You mean over the past week? I gotcha. That's thank you for clarifying. 12 trades. Wow. We've been on for 45 minutes. This does look good, look like a market maker sell model. We have a 4-hour fair value gap here, and then we have the daily up here. Let's look at the 15. We have a 15-minute inversion to the downside too. Ooh. That, I mean, literally just closed a minute ago. That's hard to ignore. That's hard to ignore, my friends. BPR right on the breaker. Looks good. Let's see here. Just got to see if I have a entry opportunity if I want to take that short. I don't want to take it down here. If that's the case, if it's down here, I'll wait for it to hit this and I'll see if it wants to still go higher. Do you see what I mean when we're inside this range? It's hard to really determine. I'd rather it run one of these highs. All right, here's something I'd be willing to do. I think that might be okay. Let me look and see where this is at. It might be worth the risk. All right, so here's 50% of this range. If we get up into this inversion fair value gap and we refuse to go higher, I may look at this to take another shot to the downside. But I need to see it find resistance here. Okay, sure, it could wick, but I really want it to respect this inversion fair value gap and then run lower from there. I don't want to take the short down here. I want it to be in premium above this midpoint of this range and then maybe look at that. If we move above this, we're still inside that range. It could go up to this fair value gap and then roll over. I don't know. I need that. I want the sweep of liquidity to give me the confidence. So the reason why I felt the freedom to take this trade right here that I took on this green candle, that I literally, this was an impulsive and subjective trade, was because it swept liquidity right here. And it tagged the hourly fair value gap, which I wanted. And I said I wasn't interested in any longs until that happened. It did that and gave us a displacing candle. The only thing that I probably would have redone if I had to do it different was to not take the entry here and sell it here, but see that it didn't hit it here, take it on the retracement to get a better position for it to go higher. That's probably what I would have done differently on that trade. ES has dropped down into the first presented fair value gap on the 1 minute time frame, and it could find, it literally just wicked into it. Do I have all those levels back now? Is that what just happened? No. %, Ryan. And just being patient to wait for that setup. That's really the thing. That's really the thing. Way to go, BC. Let's make it happen. Let's make some money on it. I hope it blows right through this level and it hits your target. What is that? How do you do a chart reset? Like you delete everything? All right, so this is what I'm watching. Do we respect this level right here? That's what I'm paying attention to right now. If it blows right through it, then I really don't care about that breaker, remember? I felt that it could go through it and not against it. I said that I would be okay with it wicking up here, but ultimately I want to see it close in or below that level. There is a nice inversion right here to the upside after that sweep of liquidity right here and that tag of 930. That's nice. All right, so it did close inside of it. We'll see what this next candle does. I really didn't get my sweep of liquidity on the downside. So the hard part right now is if it does want to go, being up here would make it too high. You could still take the trade. It could absolutely work out. But I don't almost want it to do something like this and a retracement, then take the long. Or a sweep of liquidity, retrace back into the range, and then take the long. It would have to be based on what we see on the 15-minute time frame. Here's because we did inverse this 15-minute fair value gap right here. We just inversed that. So is this a wick? Is this just going to be a wick and come back down? From a 30-minute perspective, could be bullish. That closes in 6 minutes. From an hourly perspective, we still got 36 minutes, so a lot of time on the charts. All right, so that right there, I'm gonna take that. Don't hit my stop. Okay, all right, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna take this trade. To 700. I need to see that continue. This trade will be invalidated and closed if we close back above that inversion we just made. I'm short. I'm going lower. It, for the most part, respected that inversion fair value gap. It reached up to it. It swept this liquidity right here, and then it gave me a displacing candle. That was enough for me to have conviction on going this direction towards this fair value gap. We'll see if it plays out or not. If not, I'm one contract and I have my stop going to be closed below that inversion, especially if it wants to continue to go higher. And it looks like it does. We'll see how it reacts here. I have a hard stop at that high. I don't want to have to switch positions on this. All right, I'm out. But I feel like it would be impulsive of me to go long right now. So took that loss. Now I want it to run this high and I want it to go higher. Because I exited that trade manually after we inversed this level. Welcome, Josh. Usually I just wait until the new contract comes out because then you're on a different chart. And that's every 3 months. All right, so it did run that high, so I would have been stopped out either way. Does a 2-minute look better on this? No. 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 Bummer. How often do I have a week? Maybe once a month, twice a month. Probably say twice a month. Yeah. Yeah, I had one day. December was a phenomenal month. And then in one day, I had a loss that just took a lot of my profits away. I was really disappointed in that. This is why I keep talking about my discipline, risk management, because if there's one thing that I look back in my trading, that's the one thing that I feel could and will take me to the next level. It's proper risk management. Let me rephrase it. Not proper risk management, but taking my risk management and having a deeper level of commitment to it. I think I am. Yeah, I don't see all of it. The game of golf is not perfect. You know what? I'll look it up, but I would say, just from my very limited golfing experience, there are so many correlations to trading in golf. So many correlations. What's that? I don't even know what that was. I got a feeling that we want to go higher here. I mean, we just got a lot of wicks. We're also inside of that 930 high and low. BC, you still long? Hope you are. I think it probably will play out. Uh, 1030, I don't think gave us anything. No. Hey folks, let's give me 25 likes and we'll do our daily affirmation. Let's hit 75 likes and we'll do our daily affirmation. Yeah, mental discipline. That is so true about golf. There's so many correlations. There's a lot of correlations between golf and trading. But specifically golf, let me give you an example, Ted. Football. You can run harder. You can hit harder. You can put more energy and effort, and for the most part, it's good for you. If you put more effort, more energy into your golf swing, you're going to slice it. You can't try harder in golf. Does that mean you can't put more oomph into it? Especially at the beginning. For football, you can. You know, a new player could say, well, I'm going to hit harder. Yeah, and you could do really well. But in trading, if you try harder, you actually will lose more money. And there's not many correlating sports that actually penalize you for exerting more energy into the sport in that moment. Golf, you do that, you're cooked. Bowling might be another one of those. I've never spent, I don't know any technicals in bowling, so I couldn't speak to that. Keeping emotions in check, 100%. So, what does it mean to keep emotions in check? For me, taking this trade right here and it turning into a loss, I could say, oh man, it's going the other way, and let my emotions say I need to get in the trade right here. As it plays out, I still have to deal with my emotions on having it wrong here and not letting my emotions take over to convince me to get in a trade too late in the move. If I was going to take that trade, it should have been down here when it didn't look like it was going to be that way, right? Table tennis. Yeah, you try to hit harder, and that ping pong ball tends to just go all over the place. This does not look like a bad spot right here. We got this large down close candle that's acting as an order block right here. I just don't know if I want to take it because I've already taken a loss and I don't want it to be premature or emotional. So this is a 1 minute order block right there, overlapping with a fair value gap. Looks really good. I'm gonna wait till the macro time before I do anything. Yeah, the range it's a large range. One more like. Somebody give me one more like. We'll do our daily affirmation right now. Give me a second. I need to get that. I always hit the cancel all button. And then before I get out, because I've had so many times where I've been, I'll miss a limit order. I always shrink my charts down. I'll do this just to see if I have any active orders. It's just a habit now and then I've closed and I'll catch myself not checking, and then I'll go back into it and I'll do this. I've lost money. I've blown accounts by leaving a limit order on that. It's just, you got to do it. You got to do it. All right, so let's do our affirmation for today, folks. Today's affirmation is based on 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. Each of you should steward whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. Here is today's affirmation. Today I steward wisely what God has entrusted me. I manage my time, resources, and opportunities with discipline and gratitude. I am faithful with what I have, knowing God multiplies what is handled with wisdom and care. Imagine yourself looking at yourself, telling yourself this. I steward what God has entrusted me. I manage my time. I manage my resources and opportunities with discipline and gratitude. I am faithful with what I have, knowing God multiplies what is handled with wisdom and care. This is way beyond trading. If your gift is encouragement, encourage others. Don't be quiet, encourage. If your gift is hospitality, then host people. If your gift is being there for other people, be there for other people. If your gift is teaching, don't be quiet. Start helping people understand concepts and principles in a very simplistic way. Use the resources the Lord has given you. Be faithful in it, knowing that God will multiply the gifts He's placed in your hands. I think people lose interest when we do our affirmations there. All right, so that fair value gap held, and it pushed higher into this fair value gap. So far it's held, and it's proving to move higher, slowly making its way. We're closer to our macro time of 11 o'clock. We have mitigated every 1 minute fair value gap in this run higher, every 5 minute, and there is no 15 minute. We got this 15 minute candle closes. If it closes above here, we have an order block created for a move higher. That would be enough confirmation to continue that move higher. This next hourly candle was a inside candle, that means the next candle is probably going to be very explosive around 11 o'clock. And if it's higher, I'm hoping we can find something to participate in towards that high. So this was a fake break candle. Same concept on the daily. It has not ran the high nor the low. We still got 15 minutes, and it certainly could run that high in the next 15 minutes. But that's where it looks most prominent to go to, obviously. ES has ran its high. And we have a London high over here. We have a breaker right here that we dipped into. Right there. For the most part, yes, bodied candles. I want it to close above the body. I don't care about the wicks as much. All right, there's our new 15-minute candle. I don't think I'm going to be able to get in any longs right here unless we have some form of retracement. And I didn't want to take it here, personally. I don't know if I want to take it reclaiming this inversion fair value gap. I might just sit on my hands and wait for a better move. The hardest part of trading is that right in there, is knowing that you missed something here. Granted, we had a logical reason on why we didn't, or for me, I had a logical reason why I didn't want to do it. So, however it does play out, now I just need to wait for a different setup altogether. That's probably what I need to do. What's up, Tax? Way to go. I think I knew better here. I mean, it did everything that I wanted to, but just hindsight, reflecting on the decision, it's in my pocket. The big glaring factor that I'm kicking myself about is the time. I've seen stuff do that before. And when it's not the right time, those usually turn around and head the other direction almost immediately. Yeah. Basically manipulating me into the downside. However, it just did it at a level that I had conviction on. Sure, take the trade. At least I managed my risk. That's what I care about. And I'm still green on my account from my first trade. So we're good. I just don't like the decision that I made because it took away some of my capital that I had, right? I was healthily green. Now I'm slightly green. Now this one's different. Why? It's the last fair value gap in this range, and a displacement lower here could continue. I don't know how low though, and it could turn around. I see too much evidence to go to the upside at the moment that I don't want to go short. Excuse me. So a retracement is invited to go long, sure. 10 minutes till the hourly candle closes. Yeah, it's having a 9 a.m. candle that has just wicks, huge wicks on both sides does make it difficult. All right, I'm still interested in the longs. That's the direction we're going to go here. We're going to watch this level right here. We have a breaker. We have equilibrium. We have a larger fair value gap right here. We made equal lows just now. Yeah, I'm okay with that. We'll go back to the hourly. Hourly is right now indecisive, so if it gives us this level and start giving us displacement towards the end of the hour, that might give us a bullish hourly candle, but we'll see. What's the risk if we do this? That's a huge 50 handle stop loss if we want to go to this low right here. That's just too much. Awesome, Sonus. I'm glad you're here. Let's make sure we don't have a 5-minute change in state of delivery. That's good. We also don't have an order block here. Just noting that. I can't take this. No. Do you see how we didn't sweep liquidity here? It just makes it. I'm not gonna take it. I want sweeps of liquidity. That's where I feel the most confident. It's where I feel the most confident in my trading. And many of my losses will be outside of that when I don't get that hourly or 4-hour sweep and I have less confidence. Or I shouldn't say I have less confidence. I ignore them and I take it because I like the structure, and I'll see that it results in a loss. Not more often, but it has a tendency to fail more often. If we get an immediate inversion right here, I 100% will take a long. It needs to be aggressive. Right there. Not sure if it's going to give it to us though. Not liking it anymore. It's more than likely that's going to be a fair value gap too. No trades. No trades. Just sitting here. I'm going to take this long. This will be my final trade. And it's either going to stop me out and put me negative on the day, or this is going to be a freaking sweet trade. 190 points. $25.61. Yeah, I'm not even at the level that it would be like there. We'll get to that later though. I just need to continue to see candles aggressively pushing higher right here. It's allowed to come back down into that fair value gap. There is a breaker right here. So it's either going to be a blunder or this is going to be amazing. One or the other. Awesome. Way to go, BC. I was hoping it hit. I didn't hear you. I didn't hear back from you. We're going to try this long here. I'm hoping that this was a manipulation leg and we want to pump higher right here. My take profit is at the daily low. The daily fair value gap low. It's way up there. It's like 25,060. It's really up there for right now. Paul, it's an obvious short. It's going lower. I'm not making fun of you either. I'm not trying to do that. If that came across that way, I apologize. I want the pump right here. I want it. This 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock candle. Give me a nice large candle here. That's what I want to see. I think my daily target, that daily high, is probably a little aggressive. Hey, we got our candles back. There we go. It's probably a little aggressive, but we'll see. I'm just really targeting that volume imbalance right there. That level right there is just what I'm reaching for. I need to see a higher high here on this lower time frame. There's our hourly. We have a fake break candle on the hourly. The following candle after an inside candle tends to be very explosive. I'm just hoping that I got the direction right. I like that, BC. All right, this is very important. We're at a part where we may not make a new high. This last fair value gap I'm paying attention to. I want to see a willingness to just close right above it. All right, so we did immediately. That's good. That's a good sign. Let's see if we can get this high right here and then the next high. I just really want to see it just push right out through all of this. Yes, I do on live stream. Every Tuesday, it's a private live stream. And then every Thursday, So this past Thursday, it was a backtesting live stream, but we watched live price action as well. So I think I'm going to change it from backtesting to additional live trading. So it's the extension. We'll call it extended hours. We'll call it Thursday extended hours. All right, so there's our sweep of liquidity. I'm half tempted to take profit here because that will be a 100-point trade here shortly. I'm going to move my stop to break even for obvious reasons. I will be honest with you, a 100-point trade tends to be where I cut my trades. I have only had a 200-point trade like twice. Very rarely do I do it. What's up, all set? So there's a sweep. I just want it to continue. Like I said, these following candles tend to be the most explosive. So I'm looking at it hitting this high, running this high, and really giving us an expansion candle. We have a whole hour though. That's the hard part here. That means we could get retracements, and I have to decide if I want to hold through it or not. 15-minute. Has 8 minutes left. I want to see this 15-minute close. I think that's a good determination on if we're going to get a continuation higher or not, is on the close of this 15-minute candle. I want it to be above these levels here. There's 8 minutes left, so we have a little bit of time. We can sit and wait and just not disrupt the play, not let the wick slower or anything like that manipulate us. Here we go. I like this. Let's get that expansion, baby. Target is sitting right there. So there's my end target, right? You can see that now. It's at 25.58, which is set slightly below the daily fair value gap. So now that we ran this high, I just don't want it to be a wick. When we get these hourlies, I want it to be an explosive fake break, and then I want this candle to really show the expansion. Go back and look at price action and see how it does it. Now, it doesn't mean it closes with a full bodied, but it means the wick really makes a bigger move. And that's what I'm hoping happens here. We have a breaker right here. We could easily get a retracement. So I'm deciding if I just want to be done and close it, to be honest with you. I did not get into the trade intending to hold for the bigger move. I got in with the goal to make money. So that's why I'm struggling with wanting to hold it all the way up here. Means I would have to run through retracements and everything. I'm hoping this closes right back above it. Man, that would make me feel good. But the likelihood of that is pretty low since we hit some of that liquidity. I'm watching ES as well. If ES hits the London high before NQ hits the daily fair value gap, I'll close the position. That's another thing I'm paying attention to. Paul, I hope you're not short. We didn't make a higher high, but we did create an order block. I want to see this higher high set right here. Oh man, give me a nice closed green candle with that large wick. That would be amazing. You got too many people short. It's gonna blow right through it now. Yeah, ES is also on my radar here. So ES has these this London high and this internal swing high right here. So I'm watching those levels. They're too juicy. They're too juicy. I'm feeling a retracement here. I'm feeling a retracement. 5-minute fair value gap is sitting right here. $15 minutes still hasn't closed yet, so I don't know. It might give us a 15-minute fair value gap right here. We got another minute before that 15-minute candle closes. This is what I wanted. This is what I was looking for. This is what we were waiting for, folks. This is what I was waiting for. Yeah, we took a couple stabs, took a loss here, we had a win there, but this was the move we were waiting for. And patience is paying off. I'm anticipating that when this candle closes in 34 seconds, that we're going to dip down into this 5-minute fair value gap, and I'm trying to decide if I just want to close the position. because I'd be giving up 30 points, 35, 40 points on that. That's a lot. But I have no reason to close it either. Do you know what I mean? I don't have a reason to close it. Maybe after that wick right there. I'm going to let this, if this closes red, I'm going to close the position. I want it to be, and I need it to be a bigger candle. This is a new 15-minute candle. I want a large bodied candle right here. And if it doesn't give me that, I'm probably going to close the position, anticipating a retracement. Yep, I'm done. I'm closing it there, folks. Just locked it in. We are done. I'm anticipating us to come back down into this level, and I just want to take 40 points off my trade. That's it, boys and girls. What a trade. We're up $270 on one contract. What does that come out to be? 140? 135 points? I mean, that's a place to end the day right there. A win is a win. That was a win. That was a win. Okay, so pay attention here. What did I say was probably going to happen? Let me ask you this. How did I know, or how did I have a strong feeling that we were going to get a retracement? Let's see, there was 1, 2, there's 3 factors. Who can point out those 3 factors on why I felt there was going to be a retracement? Breakout candle was small, 5-minute breaker, liquidity sweep, didn't take lower liquidity. Doji is 1. But the doji alone is irrelevant. There's something specific with it. Okay? Dojis, you want to pay attention to the doji, but when does the doji happen is even more important. Doji from a 4-hour fair value gap. No, we're above that 4-hour fair value gap right now. 2 things. Okay? 3 things. First is the doji. Second, 15-minute brand new candle. Brand new. This was the first minute of the new 15-minute and the new 5-minute candle. What do we get? We get manipulation, displacement. So the first direction typically is manipulation, especially on the first candle of a new 5-minute or 15-minute, and we're in a ranging trend. I need to see this candle close in this direction with conviction. What did it not do? It did not give me conviction. It showed me a doji candle on a brand new 5 and 15-minute fair value gap. That's 2. The third is location. It's at a key level. What was the key level? We ran these highs. We ran these highs. We are reaching inside of a 5-minute BISI towards the top of it. Retracement area. Those are the 3 reasons, folks. Those are the 3 reasons why. And when you can recognize that, you can potentially save yourself on time sitting in a trade and potentially losing 40 handles on a trade, and you end up closing it down here. Now, here's the thing that I have not mastered yet. It could come down here because ultimately I do feel this is the target, but I think this is a stretch. I think it's a great target to shoot for, but it may not get there till the PM session. So maybe it retraces here. I mean, here's the point, guys. What I'm trying to say is I see it very, very unlikely for it to come down to here. Very, very unlikely. If you were a swing trader, I would get in this trade, set your stop at break even. I would set my target up here and I would walk away. And what could happen? It could do something like this and then eventually hit it. Or it do what it's doing right now and just automatically start coming back up and be very aggressive. I don't know which one it's going to do. And I don't know if I wanted to sit in the market for that long of time, that period of time. So you decide how you want to trade and then you execute on that. I tend to be more of the scalper. I forced myself to sit in a 2.5 hour, 3 hour trade, and it was extremely difficult. I know I needed to do it because I needed to stretch my ability to hold for these bigger trades. This is another one that, honestly, I could probably have said, I need to force myself and hold it to these highs. I'm sorry. This would be one of those things. And maybe it plays out in the next 15 minutes and I would have been a champ and I would have been, you know, a stud, called it, look at me, yada, yada, yada. But I didn't. What am I leaving on the table? 60 handles. I'm leaving 60 handles on the table and preventing for me, potentially a 40 to 30 handle loss. So that was the cost analysis. What was my cost? Potentially losing 40 handles and it going lower and having to close the trade, or gaining another 60. That was the risk analysis. I decided I didn't want to take the risk because we didn't have any pullbacks here, and that pullback could be deeper than I wanted, or I would be in the trade longer than I wanted, and I just didn't want to deal with the emotions. So I just cut the trade. You have to decide how you want to handle stuff like that. You determine that. And then what you do is when you decide, take the trade, get out of the trade, and then be done with it, and don't feel FOMO if it does hit this level. Follow your rules, follow your plan. That's my analysis on this trade setup. Maybe I should have held that for all of those inside the course. That massive trade breakdown just like that. Huh? I think that's going to be a great lesson. I might clip this and put this in the academy. I think I'm going to do that. You guys got lucky. You guys got lucky. For those that aren't in it. All right, guys. I think we're going to call it a day there. Yeah, if you want, stick around, see if it hits the level. I'm going to be done for the day. It's a Friday. If you thought this analysis was great, do me a solid. Hit the like button. That would be amazing. Really helps. If you want to take a step further, share it. Be like, this guy is the bomb. The bomb diggity. Please and thank you. But if you don't, that's totally fine. If you're interested in checking out the Academy, you can find more information down in the description. With that, guys, I am going to call it a day. And we will see you all next week. good trading. Stay safe, stay disciplined, manage that risk, manage that capital, and we will see you all on Monday. God bless, guys. Take care.